Get a life, nerd.
Hey guys, Alkali Lake here, and today we are learning how to make Venom skin, or this skin can be used for any kind of alien SPFX makeup. You can see the video in the left-hand corner where I used it on a previous Venom makeup look. Stay tuned because I will do a video in the future on how to apply this skin. So this technique is super easy. We start with a very simple basic baking pan, a shallow cookie dish, and this black liquid latex, which I will put in the description below. So I said this tutorial would be really easy, and it is. As long as you have a non-stick pan, the latex will not stick to it. And as mentioned before, I just want to make sure that you know the link to this latex is in the description. It's not very expensive and easy to find. I started with approximately 1/8 of a cup of liquid latex. I know it by pouring now. If you want to measure and it makes you feel better, you can do that. But really, it's not that big of a deal as long as you don't pour too much. So I would recommend pouring in small amounts first, and then using this black sponge paintbrush, you can just spread the latex around. I recommend using these sponge paintbrushes because they are disposable and you can throw them away. The latex just gets into regular paintbrushes and you could waste a perfectly good brush. Once the latex is completely spread, make sure that there are no spots where you can see through to the bottom of the pan. You want a nice coating on the bottom. If you're not sure, let this completely dry and then add a second coat. The liquid latex does not take long to dry. It starts out dark gray and then dries a dark black, so look for that. Here is the latex after it has had time to dry. I didn't let this one completely dry as I plan to put another layer on top anyway, so this is just dry on the top, which is why you don't see it completely shiny black, but it will be in the next step. In this step, you can see that I'm taking some black embroider's thread. The black embroider's thread is cut into small sections, and you can really use any type of thread as long as it's nice and thick. Yarn is too thick, unless you want to use a lot of latex to have to cover it, and thread is too thin. So find a nice medium weight thread like embroider's thread, and the color actually doesn't matter that much either because you're going to be coating it with latex. But I like to use black to make sure I don't have to do too many latex coats and to save me product. Next step, you want to pour a very small amount of liquid latex onto the latex that has already cured on the surface. This is a very small amount and probably only a tablespoon or two. You just want to put a very, very thin layer onto the surface. Next, you want to start adding the pieces of string or embroiderer's thread that you cut. You want to overlay them over top of each other and on top of the wet latex in random loopy, spirally sections. The more loopy and spirally, the better. Because this is Venom skin or alien skin, however you want to do it, you want it to look veiny and gross and gooey, and then there's some special after effects that we'll do in the final application that I will show you in another video. But as long as you do lots of loops and lots of layers, this will look really cool when it's done. Now you want to add a little bit more latex, just another tablespoon or so, and dab it onto the tops of the strings. It's okay if they wiggle around a little bit, just press them down with your fingers. The latex underneath is already pretty dry and formed a skin, so you can actually press these pieces of string into the latex below it. You can lay your palm flat and just gently press them in. Then take the liquid latex and dab it on to everything around it, firmly pushing those embroidery strings in. And this is where you can have lots of fun and start moving the string around and forming all sorts of veiny, gooey looking like areas. And finally, take a look back at your creation and see if it needs more string. I love doing another layer at the end and adding even more string-like curvy areas. The more you do, actually, the better it will look. So have fun with it and be creative. And then, of course, just follow up with one more top coat of the liquid latex. All right, here's what it looks like, all shiny and ready to go. This sat for only a few hours before it was ready. This last step is extremely important. You're going to want to use translucent setting powder or baby powder or eyeshadow. Whatever you use, it's really okay. I'm using baby powder here. And we just want to make sure that when we peel this off the baking dish, that the latex doesn't stick to itself. Completely cover the top of the Venom skin with baby powder or translucent powder. Make sure that you cover it very well and use a powder brush to move the powder all around and completely coat the surface. Don't worry because it looks bad now, but later on we can clean the powder off and make it shiny again. This last step is the fun part where you peel the latex off of the baking dish, and I can tell you from experience, it is very satisfying. Just be gentle, but don't worry too much. All the string and the embroidery thread in it is going to make it very durable, and you can just peel it right off. Please note that the backside has not been powdered yet and will stick to itself. You'll be able to see here, as I'm showing it to you, that when I flip it over, one tiny section sticks. So just lightly unpeel it and then make sure to get that baby powder on right away. The sooner you get the baby powder on, the better to prevent it getting ruined. For the last part, we just flip it over and grab a wet towel. You just simply wet it with water and then clean up the baby powder off the surface. In a final look later, I'll tell you what else you can use to keep it really shiny. So there you have it, Venom or Alien or any really cool creature skin. This SPFX look is really easy to do, and I hope you can find ways to incorporate it into your cosplays. If you do, make sure to tag me and let me know. Stay tuned for the next video where I'll show you how to apply this to your skin. Thank you so much for watching. I love sharing my nerd knowledge with you. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you like my content. And as always, I would love to hear from you in the comments below.